Was I off that whole time? Looks like I've only just started, so I have to do the intro again. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live stream thing. It's Flemington Cup Day tomorrow. It's not Melbourne Cup Day. It is Deane Lester Flemington Cup Day, and the feature race, the Flemington Cup, is a 2,800 metre race. For the open class, let's take a look back at the last meeting where we did a form live preview, and that was 2 weeks ago at Flemington. Got the first two winners, Jimmy Rickard and Buckaloo. She Dancers did nothing in race 3, which was won by Marble 9. From a distance, was able to knock off Nobbelass, which was the favourite to win, which is good. I was with Captain Electric here, who did nothing again, but Golden State Warrior I also had marked down, which was the winner. She's an Artist didn't win, neither did Madame Maserati in this race. I don't think any of these three horses did anything. Maybe Frontline Action got top 3 or something. Jimmy the Bear won the Winter Championship final. I was leaning to Holy Mans for value, but Jimmy the Bear was listed there. Fire of Etna did nothing. These quaddies didn't do anything either because Marble 9 didn't win. Otherwise, we probably could have got them. And then in these legs, Miss Tarzi won one of the races. I think it was the last race. So did nothing, but hopefully this week we can bounce back. We've got 8 races to look. Well, we're looking at 9. I've added one selection into my preview, which we're going to get to in race 8. But looking at the track, rails out 3 metres, so out 3 metres from the true last time. Soft 5 at the moment, probably gets up to a good 4 tomorrow, and there's a 20 to 30k an hour tail breeze around the home corner, so leaders won't be disadvantaged. They're usually disadvantaged at Flemington if there's a headwind around the home turn, or pretty much if there's no wind about. Leaders aren't great at Flemington. However, with that tail breeze, it'll help them. And in the straight racing, that's going to be hitting the horses on the inside part of the track. So I think having cover to the horses inside is going to be beneficial for the straight racing at Flemington. And let's get on with the points system as I try and scramble to prepare because I forgot I needed a piece of paper. And I need to get a pen that works. This one works. So this is what I'm looking for in race 1. So top 3 last start at Metro level. This just tells me the horse is up to it. Improved from the 800 to the finish last start. I like to see that in these 3-year-olds around this distance mark for them last start to be able to improve from the 800 metre position to the finish position and have cover. I know I just said leaders won't be disadvantaged, but I like to have cover early in the day at the 1400 metre start at Flemington. So let's get on with that. There's 8 runners in the first race. And we're going to give a point to all the horses that have run top 3 last start at Metro level. So let's get on with it. Harry's Yacht did. It won. Just for Show ran 5th, but it ran 3rd back here, so I'm going to give it a half a point. Duchess Zoo ran 3rd in the Creswick. Legacy Bay won at Sandown. That's Metro. That's a win. That's a point, I should say. Lario, that is another point. Vinny's doing the form as well. Well, I know who you're with in this race. Acting on Verba, not going to get a point. It ran 10th last start, although its SP was all right. Yeah, I'm going to give it a half a point because of the SP. On Fleek, no, it's been racing in the country, and so is Chronic. So let's input those first results. 1 half, 1 half. And then we'll do improve from 800 to finish last start. So we're looking for this 800 metre position, 4th, and did it do better? Yes, it won. Harry's Yacht's going to get a point. Just for Show, 11th to 5th, that's going to be a point. Duchess Zoo, 7th to 3rd, that's going to get a point. Legacy Bay, 7th to 1st, that's going to get a point. Lario, 2nd to 2nd. Well, it didn't drop away, so I might give it a half a point. Acting on Verba dropped away, I'm not going to give it a point. On Fleek improved, and so did Chronic. So let's input those results. 1s, and then a half, and then 2 1s. and then cover. So I'm going to go to the racing.com speed map because I trust this. I assume it's been done by a human. So we're just going to look for the horses that are going to be first and second in runs. So Lario and Harry's Yacht, I'm not going to give points, and maybe Acting on Verba likes to go forward as well. So everything else, I'm going to award a point. Actually, I'm just going to take points off 1, 5, and 6. That's how we're going to do it. So we're left with 2 on top selections, Legacy Bay and also Duchess Zoo. I'm going to write both those horses' names into the Google Docs, and then we're going to try and pick one. So Duchess Zoo, exciting horse, and Legacy Bay, who is also a good horse. The Steps is in the chat. Welcome. Also have to look for a jockey. Also have to look for a jockey with intent. Happens this time of year where they're fine for premiership points. That is true. Blake Shin and Craig Williams especially. I think Craig Williams is going to be at his best because he needs winners. Blake Shin is obviously going to be riding well as well because he wants to keep his spot. So those are the 2 intent jockeys I reckon this weekend. What are we going to do now? We're going to look for an on-top selection. So in my opinion, Duchess Zoo, 5th up, getting deep into a campaign now, but Bridal Waltz and She's an Artist is good form. Legacy Bay, 51 kilos, but it's going to map further back than Duchess Zoo. Already won at the 1400 before. Gee, I know Duchess Zoo is about $1.80. $1.80 compared to $6.50. It's tempting to go Legacy Bay just because of the price. I'm going to go Legacy Bay just because of the price, but Duchess Zoo, even though Duchess Zoo's form does look better, it's never been to 1400 metres before. Zoostar out of Schnitzel just screams sprinter, so little query 1400 metres, even though it finished off last race well. Although we did just talk about intentful jockeys, Craig Williams. This horse has got 51 kilos, proven at 1400. And this was a Saturday race here where it was well backed. So, yeah, I think Duchess Zoo probably wins, but Legacy Bay at 650, I think that's good as well. Legacy Bay's rating is really bad. It's only 2 rating points off Duchess Zoo. Let's move to race number 2, the Byerley Handicap. No, I know what you mean, Vinny. I know what you mean. It's race ratings. But I'm oblivious to that, so I'm just going to assume everything is fine with this horse and move on. So what I'm looking for in the Byerley, 2nd to 4th up, meaning this horse is in the right stage of its prep and just run top 3 last start. We're not going to get too many standouts, I reckon, with those 2 form factors. But this is the first leg of the early quaddie, so we need to outline horses. Number 1's going to get a half a point. Arcora is going to get a point. Very interesting first starter in the race, Arabian Prince. Not going to get a point, though. Actually, it's going to get a half a point being first up. Bermonzi's going to get a point. So is Frankie's Boy and Last Summer and Zappa Inglesi and Volda Warrior. Okay. So every horse has got at least half a point here. And then top 3 last start. Bayou Music. It was close up in a good lead-up race. I'll give it a half a point. I'm being very generous today. Arcora is going to get a point. Arabian Prince, well, we don't know with that horse. Bermonzi's going to get a point. Frankie's Boy ran 4th, but it was a good SP, so I'll give it a halfer. Last Summer, no. Zappa Inglesi, yes. And Volda Warrior, nah. So we'll input those results and find that there's Zappa Inglesi is on 2 points, Bermonzi is on 2 points, Arcora is on 2 points, Frankie's Boys on 1.5. So all those horses are going to go in the spreadsheet. Who does everybody like out of Arcora, Bermondsey, and Zappa Inglesi? Or are you with someone else? Let me know. You can't see that name, but we'll move on. Bermondsey, where's the green and the purple? Can't see that name either. You'll see this one though, Zappa Inglesi. Arcora for Vinny. So if we just look at these horses' form lines to try and get a gauge. So Arcora and Bermondsey both come through the same form reference last start. Bermondsey carries a half a kilo more, is fourth up compared to Arcora third up. Arcora's got a couple of gear changes as well. Off the back of that logic, I have to have Arcora ahead of Bermondsey. And then what does this horse do? Zappa Inglesi. I know I watched this race because I was with our chief at Race Y without cover. Here it was Storm and Home. You know what? I might lean to Zappa Inglesi. Brings a different form. Leaning to this horse. Maybe the pains have taken Buckloo out of the race just so this horse can win. We'll see. And then we'll outline quaddies and all that at the end. All right. 16 people currently in the stream. Thanks everyone who's watching. Hopefully back a winner tomorrow, and hopefully if you're following along with me, I can find one for you, or hopefully tip the card. I haven't done that before ever in my life, but it might all start tomorrow. So in this race, it's pretty similar again. I'm looking for top 3 last start at Metro level and just a little bit of cover. I was struggling with a race of this caliber, the 1700 metre 3-year-old race. It always throws up some weird results, but let's see if we can get one. So top 3 last start at Metro level. Zorro's Flight's going to get a point. M60, it wasn't at Metro level. I'm a Manzor, no. All Business is going to get a point. Autumn Heat, nah. Aloysius, 42k race, that's not a Metro in New South Wales. Amber Star, no. Dubai Watch wasn't at Metro level. Launceston wasn't at Metro level. Pearl Patch, nah. Moonlight Circus, no. And Monte Casino, no. Okay, that was not what I was expecting. We've only got 2 horses. And then we'll go to the speed map on racing.com. If you're wanting to know which speed map is the best speed map to use online, I think Sportsbet are rubbish, RaceNet is okay, TAB is good, and if racing.com has them available, they're usually done by a human. So I'd go racing.com, tab RaceNet, and don't even worry about Sportsbet. For some reason, they're way off all the time. So Zorro's Flight, Autumn Heat. I think Zorro's Flight and Aloysius are going to be 1-2 in run, judging off that. They'll come across from the deep. And then there'll probably be a 3-wide line, but it's impossible to predict 2. So I'm going to take 1 off Zorro's Flight and 1 off Aloysius. So we've got a clear winner here, or a clear leading contender, and that's All Business. All Business. Number 6. 1 last start at Sandown. Before that was chasing Nobilas. Before that was chasing Mediah. Then Aha. That's the best winter form I guess you can get. Gets in below the minimum with Luke Cartwright's Claim. Who agrees with me? Anyone agree? Vinny has no idea. Well, you have an idea now. All Business. Paul Mills like Arabian Prince. Was that in the previous race? Very interesting placement because Mick Kent usually takes a very conservative approach with his horses and would normally chuck this horse in a maiden and then if it does all right, go to town. So the fact that Mick Kent's just chucked it in this race and Craig Williams has been booked off the back of Kinnenmont, Lamont trialling it, I think we have to throw it in the quaddie. Steps is with Frankie's Boy. I see why. I think Frankie's Boy... it's at 1,300 metres, straight up to 1,800 metres. Frankel out of Exceed and Excel. That is awesome. Still a colt, Rolls forward for Benny Mellum. Very interesting race. And Steps is with Aloysius in this race. Again, I can see why the intent jockey we were talking about before, Craig Williams, brings the different Sydney form lines. It went off $1.35 last start. But based off the things I'm looking for, All Business is my selection in the 1700 metre 3-year-old. All Business. Some of these names you won't be able to see unless you squint your eyes. You just saw my selection for race 8. Well, it's on the screen now. Might as well talk through it. Actually, I'll wait for the race. So now the 2-year-old handicap over 1,000 metres. 4 factors in this race I'm looking for. And there is 9 horses to do battle. 5, 6, 9, 10. So I'm looking for a horse first to second up who's fresh in the campaign. Don't like 2-year-olds this time of year to be deep into a campaign. Has had a win. That just tells me it's got ability. It's won its most recent trial or jump out. I love 2-year-olds that win their trials and jump outs. I think that's really good to look for. And usually in 2-year-old 1,000 metre races this time of year, if they feel like they're the best horse in the race, just looking at all the names, are they the best horse in the race? I like looking for that in these 2-year-old races. So we'll start with first to second up. Shining Smile, point. Petite Artiste, point. Oyster Lane, point. Yamashita's Gold, point. Lamassu, point. Everyone's going to get a point. Ornos, point. Sideline, Nightflower, and Bold Secret. Didn't even need really anything there. Trying to reconnect. Hopefully my stream's not affected by trying to reconnect. I think I'm still on. Am I still on? We'll look for has had a win, and then hopefully we're reconnected by then. So Shining Smile is going to get a point. Petite Artiste is going to get a point. No point for Oyster Lane, but it finished a close second, so I'm going to give a half a point. Yamashita's Gold, nothing. Lamassu, point. Ornos, point. Sideline, point. Are we back on yet? No. Yes, we are. Okay, that's good. I don't even need to do this, sorry. I don't need to do this because they've all got a point. Won its last trial. Shining Smile, yes, it's going to get a point. Petite Artiste, no. Oyster Lane, yes. Yamashita's Gold, no. It finished second, but only beaten 0.1 lengths. That's going to get a point. Lamassu finished second. Ornos finished third. Sideline finished second. Bold Secret, point. Okay, that's separated the boys from the men a bit. Just a bit. Feels like the best horse in the race. I mean, Shining Smile. Shining Smile, clearly. Shining Smile, clearly. Does anyone agree? Shining Smile, look at this horse. How is this horse not the favourite? Vinny likes Shining Smile from Oyster Lane. Well, I'm with you. Look at this. Wins. I was at Caulfield that day. Beat Yamashita's Gold easily. Won the Talon Dead Heading with Tentris, who runs second in a Blue Diamond behind Devil Knight. And then wins down the straight. Has straight experience. 59.5 kilos. Yeah. I'm happy with my selection. Probably starts a lot shorter as well. Steps agrees, Paul agrees, Vinny agrees. It's got to be the best bet of the day at Flemington, doesn't it? We all agree here. We all agree. We all agree Shining Smile. All right. I'll have a Shining Smile if it wins. All right, so this is now the Rising Star Series final, race number 5. And in this race, I'm looking for a lightweight, so pretty much cancelling all the horses that have not too many horses are going to have big weights because they're all apprentices riding, but a lightweight I like. 5-year-old or under, just want one of those progressive mares. And Top 3 last start at Metro level we've been through before today. I think that's really good. Shows that they're up to this class. So I'm going to give, just looking at these weights, half a point to 2 and 3, and everything else below it is going to get a point for being a lightweight. I didn't expect there to be this many lightweights, but we'll roll with it. Miss Tarzi has to carry 59.5 against some good mares. Not for me. So we'll go 5-year-old or under. Miss Tarzi, point. Pariah Pearl, point. Cindy Falls, half a point for being a 6-year-old. Claymore Mine, point. Matriarch Rose, point. Sounded Out, point. Brave Miss, point. Indian Jewel, point. Gee, we're not getting too many. Yeah, every horse is pretty much on the same amount of points. That didn't really do anything, did it? Not 11. All right. This last category has to work. Top 3 last start at Metro level. Miss Tarzi, point. Pariah Pearl, point. Cindy Falls, no points. Claymore Mine. I think I've actually walked and handled Claymore Mine before. But no. Sounded Out's going to get a point. Brave Miss, nothing. Indian Jewel, nothing. Jazz Affair, nothing. Sweet Jasmine, it was in the country. Lake Vostok, nothing. Okay. That's sort of separated it a bit. So, Sounded Out, after pretty much all the horses being on equal amount of points, Sounded Out is clearly on top. The Yulong horse. I think everyone is going to have different opinions on this race. It looks very even. But if we just look at this horse, wins last start. It was on a heavy track, but beats Pariah Pearl, who's in this race. Draws out Galileo out of a Lawman. That's pretty good. Tom Preble down to 54.5 kilos. Anyone agree? Sounded Out for the steps. We're seeing things very similarly tomorrow, and I like it. But what I don't like is the green I used in here. That's a Blazing Harry green. We need a Yulong green. There we I don't know. I don't know what a Yulong green is. That green, whatever that is. Only had the 7 starts as well. Very progressive. We're now up to race 6, benchmark 84, 1200 meters. We're going to do all the quaddies and that at the end of the video. So we've got 3 categories here. First to third up. Fresh, sort of, and not too far into a campaign. Has won a Saturday race before. Yeah, I want a horse that's up to this class and a jump out winner heading into the prep. As I've said before with the other straight race, I like jump out and trial winners heading into straight racing, and that's just something that no one else looks for besides myself. So hopefully it pays off. So we're looking for first to third up. Red Hot Nick's going to get a point. Eye of the Fire is going to get a point. Mr. Exclusive, Freak of Nature is going to get a point. Nothing for Moby Dick. Talbragar, half a point. La Fracas is going to get a point. So is Baroque Road. Dazzling Lucy, half a point. De Bergerac's going to get a point. Half a point Moonhaven. And our Couvar's going to get a point. Input those results. Now, has won a Saturday race before. I hope my memory serves me right. Red Hot Nick, actually, I'll just go up here. I've got a crazy mind about racing, so I'll probably accidentally guess all of these right. Red Hot Nick has won a Saturday race before. So has Great Maximus, so has Eye of the Fire, so has Mr. Exclusive, so has Freak of Nature, so has Moby Dick, so has Talbragar. La Fracas, I don't think has ever won. Baroque Road has. Dazzling Lucy, I think, has before. De Bergerac never, and Moonhaven has. So that's just something I like to look for, that they're sort of up to this class a bit. All right, and jump out winner heading into the prep. So most recent jump out win, Red Hot Nick is going to get a point. Great Maximus, nah, I can't see any trials or jump outs there. Eye of the Fire, no. Mr. Exclusive, no. Freak of Nature, yes. Moby Dick, no, I can't see. Talbragar ran second. Lafraca ran fourth. Broke Road third. Dazzling Lucy. De Bergerac, yes. So this is... Alright. I know these two horses are at big prices, Freak of Nature and Red Hot Nick. I know a couple of boys on Get On like Red Hot Nick. And Freak of Nature, I actually think, is not too bad of a chance either. Red Hot Nick. So there's the blue with the white. Who is everyone on in this race? I assume most of you will be on Lafraca. So let's talk about these two horses, all right? So let's see what we're working with. Red Hot Nick's second up record is a lot stronger than its first up record. It loves this distance of 1,200 metres. It's had Flemington Straight experience before. It's won at the track. First up here looked to be, well, gate 11 of 14, probably not in the right part of the track for a Sandown 1,000 metre race. I don't mind it at the price. And then Freak of Nature. Third up fit, had a throat condition this day where it SP'd $6 behind Cafe Millennium and then was 4 wide no cover at Caulfield behind Home Rule. Now drops back to 1,200 metres. Third up ready to peak. Ethan Brown on a senior takes over from an apprentice. Steps likes Eye of the Fire. Sydney horse, Jamie Mott. Steps loves his Sydney form. He loves his Sydney form. I'm going to lean the way of Freak of Nature, though. But I think this might be a race for value at Flemington. Freak of Nature and Red Hot Nick leaning to Freak of Nature. Now the Deane Lester Flemington Cup. This one, I don't even need to write anything down for this one. I have no idea what I'm looking for. And I have no idea what's happened. So this says SP under $10 last start. That's all I'm looking for. Staying races leave me out, as I've already said on my Form Factors series. Any horse who's had an SP of under $10 last start is going to get a point, and then we're going to try and work it out that way. 2, 3, 4, 8... 13, 14. Okay. Right. So, trying to look at this. Maybe we can tie the form in. Blake Shin takes over from Craig New at its most recent flat run for Loft. 4 lengths off Basilina. Virtuous Circle finished 5.5 lengths off Loft in the Ramsden. So I think Loft has to have Virtuous Circle's measure. Bold Soul finished 4.5 lengths ahead of Virtuous Circle. But goes up 1.5 kilos off the back of that performance. At the moment, I reckon I still have to lean to Loft. Momona brings the Sydney form. Running against Casual Connection. Sir Lucan Bear on the loose. Who does everyone like in the Flemington Cup? Because I'm struggling here. Samuel Langhorne only finishes about 1.5 lengths off Bold Soul. Bold Soul goes up 1.5 kilos. I think they're about the same. Probably still have to lean to... What's its name? Loft. And then Mukdamil finished 0.5 length off Bold Soul last start with the same weight. You know what? I think Mukdamil out of all that is going to be my on top pick. Muktamil's sort of got the green and the red. Tying the form, and it looks pretty good. That's not Muktamil's colours at all. Maybe this green. Nah, I don't know. But Muktamil is going to be my on-top selection in race 7. I'm still going to run through race 8, but I'll talk about Sayyidi Sadati first. Bold Soul. We know what performance it'll put in. Second, first, second. It's going to run well. So, don't mind your thinking there. Alright, why I like Sayyidi Sadati again. Ran in the same class and distance as last start and wins. I know it goes up 4.5 kilos, but it jumps from Logan Bates to Craig Williams. We're talking about those intentful jockeys at the start of the live stream. I think fourth up, it's going to go to a new level again. Gate 7 looks to map perfectly in the 1 out, 1 back position, and it was kind to me last start, Sayyidi Sadati, so I'm chucking it in the preview unit plays. We're still going to run through race 8 to sort of come up with a quaddie. So I'm looking for horses 3rd to 4th up. I think that's the right stage of prep for a race of this calibre. And then we'll go for top 3 last start in the Saturday race. That shows me that they're up to the class. And Proven at Flemington. I know Flemington's a wide open track with not much bias, but I like these open horses to be proven at Flemington. So let's do the 3rd to 4th up first. Casino 17, 1 and 2. I'll just do numbers. Half a point. 3 is going to get a half a point. Tempesti's going to get a point. I'll go names. Antrim Coast's going to get a point. Charterhouse, half a point. Milford's going to get a point. Jesus, a point. Little Mix, a point. Half a point for Flash Feeling. Nothing Dublin Journal. Kettle Hill, half a point. Nelly Laylax, point. Amber Wright's going to get a point. Baby Rider, half a point. Euphoric and Ocean Beyond, nothing. That's a lot of horses. Let's input these results. Hold on, I've missed one. Alright, there's a lot of horses. Top 3 last start in the Saturday race. Casino 17, point. Relentless Voyager, nothing. Wycliffe, nothing. Tempesti, well, ran 3rd back here. I'm going to give it a half a point. Antrim Coast, nothing. Well, we don't know. We've already gone through Sayyidi Sadati. Charterhouse, nothing. Milford, nothing. Jesus, nothing. Little Mix, nothing. Flash Feeling's going to get a point. Dublin Journal, nothing. Kettle Hill, nothing. Double Cherry. Nelly Laylax going to get a half a point. It ran 4th. Amber Wright, half a point. It ran 4th. Baby Rider, nothing. So let's input those results. Proven at Flemington. So not necessarily looking for has won at Flemington, but maybe top 3. Casino 17, yes, it ran top 3. Relentless Voyager, nothing. Wycliffe, yes. Tempesti, nothing. Antrim Coast, nothing. Charterhouse is going to get a point. Milford has won before. It's going to get a point. Nothing for Jesus. Little Mix is going to get a point. Flash Feeling's going to get a point. So is Dublin Journal. Kettle Hill's going to get a point too. Amber Wright's going to get a point as well. Euphoric and also Ocean Beyond. Okay. So we've got 3 horses on an equal amount of points. That is Amber Wright, Flash Feeling, and Casino 17. So Casino 17, Flash Feeling, and Amber Wright equal on top, just ahead of Milford and Little Mix, who are on equal 4th with 2 points. We'll finish it off with race 9, the benchmark 78,000 metre race. What I'm looking for in this race is, who's everyone with? Who's everyone with in race 8? Are you with Sayyidi Sadati? Do you agree with me or no? So looking for 5-year-old or less. they're progressive. First to fourth up, not too deep into a campaign, and top 3 last start at Metro level shows me that they're up to it. So I'm just going to look for 6-year-olds and up because it'll take me less time. Booney, -0.5. Documentary, -0.5. Smart Little Miss, -0.5. Okay. Input those results for the last race, and then we can get stuck into a quaddie. First to fourth up. Beast Mode's going to get a point. Lose Some, Win More's going to get a point. Harry Got Styles, 0.5 point. Call to Glory, 0.5 point. Bold Soul, point. Booney, point. Cheers to That, 0.5 point. Comic Hero, point. Documentary, point. And that'll be it. Yep. And then top 3 last start at Metro level. Beast Mode, point. Lose Some, Win More, pretty much a point. I'm going to give it 0.5 point. Harry Got Styles, well, it won before that. So did Call to Glory. No, Call to Glory's not going to get anything. Big Me, no. Bold Print's going to get a point. Booney's going to get a point. Cheers to That, nothing. Comic Hero, actually, it SP'd good. I'm going to give it 0.5 point. Cheers to That. Comic Hero, nothing. Documentary, good SP last start, 0.5 point. Soju, nothing. Smart Little Miss, nothing. And Hajra is going to get a point. Okay. So we got 2 equal on top selections, Beast Mode and Bold Print. And then Booney and Lose Some, Win More on 2.5. So that'll be it for the last. And then we'll outline a quaddie. Gotta love these live streams. So, going back over the races, the first one, Duchess Zoo and Legacy Bay. I had as my 2 on top selections, but I think Legacy Bay's a better price. Mars 7 and 8 Quinella. Little Mix has come up in my black book though. Save a Little Mix. I like how you're with Sadie Sadati. Yeah, these 2 in the first. The Biley, Arcora, Bermondsey, and Zappa Inglesi were all on top, leaning to Zappa Inglesi. All Business on top in race 3. Shining Smile, we all agreed with in race 4. Sounded Out race 5. Red Hot Nick and Little Mix in a boil over in race 6. Mukta Mill in the Flemington Cup. Sadie Sadati in the race number 8, and then Beast Mode and Bold Print equal top in race 9. So we'll get onto an early quaddie, a skinny early quaddie. We'll start with the Biley. I think we just have to go the 3 selections on top. 2, 4, 7. Then in race 3, I think we just go 6, 1 out. It's the only horse. I think we have to go Shining Smile, 1 out as well in this race. And then in race 5, Sounded Out and Pariah Pearl's the only clear horse second. So I might go Pariah Pearl and Sounded Out 2 and 7. 3x2 is $6 for 100%. That'll pay all right if it gets up, I guess. And then the longer quaddie, I think I want to throw in 3 and 5 is close as well. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And then in race 3, I might throw in horse 3 because it's got a point here. I might throw in horse 4 because I've heard it's pretty good, and the steps likes Aloysius, so we'll go 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 3, 4, 6, 8. And then in race 4, Oyster Lane clearly second. I think we'll go 1 and 3. And then, out of all these horses on 2, who do we throw in? I know someone likes Lake Vostok, and I'll go 1, 2, 9, 1, 2, 7, 9, 12. So 5 by 4 is 20, by 2 is 40, by 5 is 200. So that's our longer quaddie, and the early quaddie only costs $6. Now we'll get onto a late quaddie. Red Hot Nick, Freak of Nature, 1, 5, 10. But they're all like 30 to 1. No, I can't have that. I've got to have something. And we'll throw in the favourite. Four horses in a skinny quaddie. And then we got this. Bold Soul always runs well. I'll go 2, 4, and 14. This isn't as skinnier as the last one for sure. What page am I supposed to be on? We'll go 1 out Sayedity. And then in the last race, we'll go 1, 2, and 7. Maybe 8. Yeah, I'll throw in 8 as well. Booney. 4 by 3 is 12 by... So our skinny quaddie costs 48. We probably can take a few numbers out there, but I don't really know. Then in this leg, I might add in De Bergerac and Eye of the Fire because the steps likes it. 1, 3, 5, 8. I know Lafraca's only got a point, but it's Lafraca. It could do anything. 1, 3, 5, 8, 10, 11. And then we'll go with 2, 3, 4, 8, 13, 14. And then we'll go 1, 7, 9, 11, 12, 17. And then finishing it off, I think 12 and 15 are supposed to be pretty good. Or should we'll just go the 4. 1, 2, 7, and 8. Not make it a terribly long quaddie. 6 by 6 is 36. By 6 is 216. By 4 is 864, I think. So talk about a longer quaddie. That's as long as it can get pretty much. Actually, we could have every horse in the field. So still pretty long though. Right, so let's go back over this one more time. Duchess Zoo and Legacy Bay, my 2 on top selections in race 1. Cora Bermondsey and Zappa and Glacy and the Biley, leaning to Zappa and Glacy. All Business in the 3rd, Shining Smile in the 4th, Sounded Out in the 5th. 2 value plays, Red Hot Nick and Freak of Nature in race 6. Mukta Mill in the Flemington Cup, Sadie Sadati again in race 8. Beast Mode and Bold Print in the last equal on top selections. And then a skinny quaddie, I've got $6 for 100%. A longer quaddie, $200 for 100%. And then for a main quaddie, a skinny quaddie for $48. And then a longer quaddie for $864. All for 100%. So that's going to do it for this live stream. This has to reload. But thanks everyone for tuning in. I do appreciate all the support I get. And yeah, this has been fun, hasn't it? Hopefully I've found you guys a winner if you're following me in. and hopefully back a winner yourselves. So thanks everyone again for watching, and until next time, bye for now.